Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Church with a Two-Drink Minimum.
Welcome to Church with a Two-Drink Minimum.
Hey, doggies.
And a human.
A human.
Got your drinks ready?
I know. Welcome to Church with a Two-Drink Minimum.
So, today we are actually in Vermont, so we pre-recorded this for you, and we're so excited to share the lesson.
Oh, this is actually one of the lessons that I get asked to teach the most. This is one of the top 3 lessons.
Yeah.
I call it the phases of awakening, but the Course in Miracles calls it the lessons of the Holy Spirit. Now, this section in chapter 6 actually is a summary of the thought system of A Course in Miracles that we're trying to learn. Right? This mind training thing that we're all supposed to be doing. This is the 3-pronged stool that your mind is sitting on. Picture your brain on a stool.
Sitting on a stool. A 3-pronged stool?
No, three-legged stool.
3-legged stool.
Three-legged. Do stools have legs or prongs? I don't remember.
I think legs.
Okay.
So,
speaking of legs.
I don't know. Let's do our
I know,
sing-along.
all right.
I'm still playing my ukulele for you because actually I'm really getting good at it now.
We're getting kind of fun at it.
So here we go.
Sing along. Do you know the words, right?
Let things be.
Let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
And you can't change God.
Because you can't change God.
So let things be.
I let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
You and me.
We'll live in peace.
We live in peace.
I don't know what anything is for. Unless I listen to that still small voice.
I have a still small voice
telling me.
It's telling me
this simple truth. That everything is for my good.
It's for my good.
So let things be.
I let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
And you can't change God.
Because you can't change God.
So let things be.
I let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
You and me.
We'll live in peace.
We live in peace.
I'm not this body.
I'm not this body
that you see.
That you see.
I am as God.
I am as God.
Created me.
God created me.
And we are all. One family.
One family.
And it's possible.
Yes, it's possible.
To live in peace.
We live in peace. Sing
so
it now.
Let things be.
We Let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
And you can't change
'Cause you can't change God.
Let things be.
I let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
So you and me
will live in peace.
will live in peace.
Kumbaya.
Kumbaya. Every program has a kumbaya, a wee doggies, and a few other things. If
And
you
an
haven't noticed.
human
and
at
an
least.
human at least.
Let's do that again.
I know.
A
Hey,
human.
I know. Bless the world, right?
Yes.
Bless the world. Did you know you're a blessing?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
your presence is a blessing?
Absolutely.
We were talking about that this week on Wednesdays, about how we don't really accept how powerful we are.
I know.
And because think about what it feels like when you change the mood of the room when you walk in.
Really?
That is how powerful.
You are.
Right.
That's exciting. You know. Okay, hold on a second. We're gonna pause. Okay. It's okay. Okay. So, before we get started with the lesson that Glenn wants to share, I wanted to share today's lesson from the workbook, the daily lesson number 66. My happiness and my function are one. And it says, you have surely noticed an emphasis throughout our recent lessons on the connection between fulfilling your function and achieving happiness. This is because you do not really see the connection. Yet, there is more than just a connection between them. They are the same. Their forms are different, but their content is completely one. And I wanted to share this little prayer that she says. This is a little prayer that she gives us to practice, throughout the day. So it goes like this. God gives me only happiness. He has given my function to me. Therefore, my function must be happiness.
My happiness and my function are one.
I love
so, how do we find out what is ours to do?
Follow our happiness.
Right.
Wow.
So, what makes you happy?
Play my ukulele.
Okay, it doesn't say it doesn't say making money or acquiring things or being in the perfect relationship or having the correct parents or living in this longitude or that longitude.
Right.
My happiness, the thing that is going to make me happiness is the thing I'm here to do.
Yeah.
So this is the idea of follow your bliss, like on steroids.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is really teaching against what the world teaches. Right?
And you know what? We were listening to a lecture earlier today about how this very thing, following your path, your happiness, what it is for you to do, what your passion is, actually heals the situation. It's good for your immune system. It's good for your immune system. It's good for other people's immune system. It's good for the world. The world that's in dis-ease. Following your happiness, your purpose, your passion, what you're compelled to do.
What I would say is
heals not only yourself, but those around you and the world around you.
So one of the touchstones I ask people to think of is, what do you have endless energy for? What do you have endless energy to do? Right,
and that's why I said,
no. Like for me, it really is like permaculture and being a teacher, and it is more than one thing.
Right,
exactly. So, what is your function? What is your purpose? How do you become happy? It starts with self-knowledge, doesn't it?
Right, it does.
It starts with like, who am I, and what have I been told I am, and how does it like sync up or compare to what makes me happy?
Yeah.
And are you honest? Are we? Because I don't know about you, but I spent a lifetime lying to myself about what was making me happy. Right? How honest are we going to be? Could we sink in to say, where and when in our past have we been the happiest, the most fulfilled, the most feeling like ourselves? When was that moment? I know one of those moments I had with Yolanda when we first went to the land.
To our land in Vermont, yeah, which is where we are today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we walked onto the land for the very first time. And it was a summer, it was May 1st. And no drama, no nothing. And it was all done. It's COVID. There's nobody around. There's no celebration. There's no party. Nobody popped champagne for us. There was none of that. So there wasn't anybody looking and nobody knew about it either, because we didn't even know whether it was going to be going through. That I have and so that kind of like peace, that kind of happiness, and it really turned upside down what I thought happy was. Because I thought my happiness before was like some kind of like mildly ecstatic state, right? Inside of an excited state, which is great.
I like to be excited.
Oh, of course.
As you can tell.
Who doesn't like to be excited?
But it doesn't always have to be that way. It doesn't always have to be a fever pitch high.
I know.
It doesn't always have to be that.
Happiness. Just happiness.
Yeah.
What is your happiness? That's your function.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to be doing, is making yourself happy. And we're all one. So who are you supposed to make happy?
Well, as you make yourself happy, you contribute to the happiness of others. May all beings be happy.
Loka somasta sukino bhavantu.
Right.
There we are. Speaking of Loka somasta sukino bhavantu.
Yeah, let's move into what I like to call, as you know, the Circle of Love meditation, which is really a guided prayer. And let's bring that idea of perfect happiness into our meditation and our prayer today.
I like that idea.
Yeah, and then we'll move out of the prayer with a song that's a duet, actually, with a dear friend of mine, Reverend Shonda Rule, and it just celebrates that spirit, Holy Spirit within us, that love that we are made of. It's called Sweet, Sweet Spirit. So, as I like to do, I'll ring the bell 3 times. We'll take 3 deep breaths, and on the last breath, we will exhale with an Om. In the stillness of this circle of love is our happiness, our perfect happiness, that which is ours to do in this world. In this circle of love, we can't help but find our perfect happiness, because we are made of this perfect happiness. We are made of love. We are made of unconditional love. That which God is what we are, which is perfect happiness and unconditional love. Let's take a moment and just know that we are perfect happiness. Breathe it in. Feel it. Feel that happiness, that perfect love, that unconditional love, that perfect unconditional happiness that you are made of, that I am made of. Feel that and let that bubble up inside of you now and flow out into the rooms that you are sitting in, into your house, into your apartment building, into your city, into your streets, into your state, into our country, and into this world that is healed by us following the path of our perfect happiness. And as we allow ourselves to take one step after another, we acknowledge and we become aware of the fact that we are seated on land that once belonged to our Native American ancestors. And here in New York City, that land, those ancestors, were the Lenape people. And in Vermont, where we also live, that land, those people, were the Abenaki people. In this circle of unconditional love and perfect happiness, we acknowledge that Black lives matter and that Black trans lives matter. And that our human consciousness is shifting. The more we live into who we know we are, our human consciousness shifts and heals the world. And with that knowledge, may we be so grateful for this sweet, sweet spirit of love that is who we are and what we are made of. And so it is.
Heaven's in me, this I know, for God's teachings tell me so. Little one, to this behold, as above is so below. Heaven's within me, heaven's within me, heaven's within me, for life's teachings tell me so. Heaven's in me still, when my way goes against my will. Still I love, still I shine, Sweet Spirit, in this place, and I know that it's the Spirit of the Lord. There are sweet expressions on each face, and I know that it's the presence of the Sweet Holy Spirit, sweet heavenly dove, stay right here with us, filling us with your love. And for these blessings, our hearts in praise. Without a doubt, we'll know that we have been revived. We shall leave this place. Sweet Holy Spirit, yeah. Sweet heavenly dove, you have filled me with your love. And for these blessings, we lift our hearts in praise. Without doubt, we'll know that we have been revived.
Performers,
Artists,
and it's
and-
Chanda like Panda.
Yes, Chanda. Rule. Her last name is Rule. Rule.
And she's really worth checking out.
Oh, she's amazing.
Really, really worth checking out.
Beautiful artist.
Amazing. I first saw her do this concert with a loop guitar thing, and everything was in high heels, and she's amazing.
She's amazing.
But speaking of amazing,
We have an amazing message for you today.
I love this
Yeah.
lesson.
Okay.
I really, really love this lesson.
Wonderful.
And in fact, if you've been following me a while on here, because I've had this slot on Sundays for
a long time.
for a bit. You've probably heard me do this.
It's possible.
It's quite possible you have heard me do this, because I, generally speaking, do this lesson once a year, but I also mention it throughout the year. Now, I call this the phases of awakening.
Dun, da, da, da.
The phases of awakening. The Course in Miracles calls it the lessons of the Holy Spirit.
Oh, that's cool, because the song we just
I
sang.
know.
Sweet, sweet spirit.
I know.
Yeah.
The lessons of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So, do you remember when you were little and you were like your first lesson book?
Oh, not exactly, but I get.
That's the
idea.
concept, right?
Yeah.
So I want to put this image in your head. Put this idea in your head so you can hang these ideas in it. Picture this little book, like my first lesson book. right? Maybe it has a puppy on it, okay? Because this is chapter 6, okay? In the way of the Course, this is like chapter 1 of the journey. Chapter 5 is like all about getting the call,
Okay.
right? And chapter 6 is answering the call. Right. These are the foundations this is the journey. I call this section the curriculum. This is what you're going to be doing. This is the Course in Miracles. Chapter 6 is like what we're going to be studying. She gives you the syllabus. Okay.
Cool.
So think about this lesson plan. So think about
we've got a lesson plan. Okay.
Hey, she calls it the curriculum. She says this is mind training.
She does. Yeah. That's
so
right.
this is
okay. I'm with you.
Okay. The other image, or the other thing I'd like you to do is, or think about this concept of a default settings.
Okay.
Okay.
What is your default setting?
What is your default setting?
Now, if you're cynical, if one is cynical about humanity and existence, one might have a different opinion about what the default setting is. However, in the joyous celebration of life that is A Course in Miracles, we find that our default setting is joy.
Yeah, so like your perfect happiness.
Perfect happiness. Yeah.
Joy.
Yeah.
So this is supposed to be the gospel.
Yeah.
Good news.
Yeah, exactly.
This is supposed to be good news. Turns out you're not the thing that you thought you were. This is supposed to be good news.
Yeah, that the ego tries to sell you that you
are.
We're
being sold on this bill of goods about the world and our existence that it's actually causes a lot of suffering. Because we participate in it. Okay. So, she gives us 3 basic ideas that all the other ideas are based on. So if you can remember 3 things, this is one of the 3s. This is one of a couple of 3s in A Course in Miracles. If you can remember these 3 things, you have the really good foundation for building on your own pursuit of your own happiness, the experience, creating the conditions for you to experience your own perfect happiness, or a destiny, your certain destiny.
Ooh,
she says that as well.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So,
awesome.
This is chapter 6. It's called The Lessons of Love, and this is the this is the curriculum of a course. This is the curriculum what we're going to be studying all year, and I'm going to ask Yolanda to read a little bit for us because she's really good at that.
Okay. Well, don't you want to say what the first first thing is?
No, it comes later.
Okay. So, all right. Okay. So we'll start off here. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. It is a real foundation stone of the thought system I teach and want you to teach.
I want you to teach.
Right.
We're being taught to teach.
Right. You cannot perform miracles without believing it, because it is a belief in perfect equality.
The belief in what?
Difficulty? Miracles?
There's no
order of difficulty. So the thing that she wants us to understand is that there is no order of difficulty in miracles.
And if you can believe that, then you'll be able to do miracles.
Okay, got it. Yeah, okay. So the Holy Spirit communicates only what each one can give to all. So the first thing she wants you to know is to give all to all.
We're going to explain that, so don't get hung up on to have, give all to all.
This is a very preliminary step, and only one you must take for yourself.
Okay, there's that choice thing. You have to choose to get on the path, right? Okay.
At this point, they may try to accept the conflict. Who's they?
People who, us. You're getting on this path, and in the past you've learned things. We have a conflict.
Oh, okay.
So we have a conflict with the real world.
Okay.
And you can choose to, and some of us battle the conflict instead of working through our discomfort.
Got it. Okay. All right. So at this point, they may try to accept the conflict rather than take the next step towards its resolution, right? Having taken the first step, however, they will be helped. Once they have chosen what they cannot complete alone, they are no longer alone.
Okay. How often do you think that you have to do it by yourself?
Right.
and that you don't have what you need, and things have happened to you because you're at a complete disadvantage, right? And it's not fair.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, how many times have you heard life isn't fair?
Right.
Well, actually, it is.
Well,
it's full of justice.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And comes to my mind, I am not the victim of the world I see. Right.
So how do you live in a world in which you're not the victim? Because there's a lot of people who are going to tell you and encourage you to be the victim and to live from that victim place. Right. I call this the first law of the foundations of awakening, because nothing else is possible if you don't believe that you are fundamentally enough to accomplish to be happy. You have all the things that you need to create a happy life, or to be, have an existence that's valuable to you. You value it. It's the very first thing. And it's based on the principle that there's no order of difficulties. Now, we still believe in the order of difficulties. I can't have that because I don't have enough money.
Right.
We found out that with doing this land thing. Because we are not wealthy people. But I'm here to tell you, when we needed it, it was there.
Right.
It wasn't there before that. It wasn't there after that.
Right.
But when we needed the money or the resources, or it was there. And we did not see how in the world we were ever going to be able to make this happen in our life. It was a goal. We've been planning on this for a very long time. There's no order of difficulties. It is not more difficult for you to be happy and to get what you want than anybody else.
Yeah.
So nobody else has it any easier or any better than you or me or anybody else. But here's the thing. Here's the catch. The fly in the ointment, as they say, is to your ego's perspective. The Holy Spirit will teach us, the master teacher will teach us what we can give to all.
What do you mean by that?
I know. What can you give to everyone without running out?
Love.
Okay, that's right. Things that are real.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Thoughts that are true. So here's the thing. Don't get caught up on what is yours to do in the specific role that you have, or that we have, or that I have, or that wish we had. I want that role. It looks so much fun or interesting, or this role, this guy over here is doing the thing that it's not. So don't get hung up on how, or the specific roles that we're going to do, or the words that we use to do them. Right? Because it's not about, because there are lots of different words for meditation and vipassana and all these things. There's all the words we keep, and in spiritual circles, I'm sure you've heard this, we keep throwing out these terms because they get useless, right? We throw them on the bonfire. So she tells us to take the next step. She was just keep taking the step. Just move forward. This is the truth about who you are, and you don't have to believe it. That's how much integrity the truth has. Just take the next step. Choose to believe that, or act on the idea that you have enough to take the next step toward your greater peace. Just the next step.
Right.
Decide again and again and again. I can do it. It's mine to do. Help will be there if you will make the step.
Right.
Help doesn't come until you've stepped into what you want to do, and then there's all kinds of help. And we have found that in abundance. We found it in this community.
Right.
We found it in the fairy community. We found it in the anarchist community. Found it in community organizing, in churches, and all over the place.
And just in our neighborhood in Vermont and in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what's the first concept?
To have all, give all, to all.
I know. That's also a political system. Ask me about it. So read the next piece.
To have peace, teach peace, to learn it. That's the second thing. Anyway,
I know.
But what she says in the paragraph, it says, all who believe in separation have a basic fear of retaliation and abandonment. What you teach, you are. If the center of the thought system is true, only truth extends from it. But if a lie is at its center, only deception proceeds from
This is
it.
just logic, right?
Yeah,
It's just completely logic.
Yeah. The first step in the reversal or undoing process is the undoing of the getting concept.
You see that in the first principle?
Yeah, to have all, give all, to all
means you're not trying to
get. Yeah. Yet you do want peace, or you would not have called upon the voice for peace to help you. Its lesson is not insane. The conflict is.
Right. See, we would rather fight than solve the problem. Right. We'd rather be upset than forgive.
Yeah. The ego tries to persuade you that it is up to you to decide which voice is true.
I know. And we've all wanted voices that were not true to be true. We've all experienced that.
Right. The Holy Spirit perceives the conflict exactly as it is. Therefore, the second lesson is to have peace, teach peace, to learn it. Which is what you say all the time. It's even on your signature.
I know. That's my email
signature. Teach peace.
Teach peace.
This is still a preliminary step.
Oh.
The second step is a positive affirmation of what you want. To have peace, teach peace, to learn it. It's a positive affirmation of what you want. This then is a step in the direction out of conflict. Okay. Out of conflict.
Peace, a step in the direction of your peace would be a step out of conflict.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's asking us now to teach who we are. And who we are is this like idea of peace. What we want is what we want is peace. So could you define what peace is for you? How do we experience peace? What's the feeling tone of peace? And if you say it's the absence of anything happening, you don't know what peace is.
Right. Yeah, I don't feel
right?
I don't think of it that way.
Things are peaceful means everything is completely stopped.
No.
Right. Well, the world teaches that.
Right.
So we're going to teach who we are. And the world teaches separation.
Right.
And fear and abandonment and retaliation. I know. Of course it does. There's money to be made in that.
Exactly.
You know,
so the world's idea of peace, like,
that's bootstraps and dues paying and all that stuff.
But it's also this idea of like you have to go to war to have peace.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you have to separate yourself and sequester, all the resources and stuff, so that you can have peace. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous.
It's upside down.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say it's upside down. So teach what you want to be true.
Right.
That's really a very good way to evaluate what you want to teach. Do you want to teach that things are awful, we're all gonna go extinct in 20 years, or like, what do you want to teach?
Right.
People are bad and awful, and you can't have what you want, and nobody loves you. What do you want to teach?
I want to teach that we know that we are made of this unconditional love and perfect happiness. That's what I want.
I want to teach that you're very powerful.
Yeah.
You don't know it. We need to take responsibility for it, because together we are responsible for changing the world.
We are, and we can, and we do.
Healing. See, this is an undoing of our own learning.
Right.
Sorry, you grew up.
Yeah.
You were under 5 years old.
Right.
These things happen to you.
For 7 years.
The first 7 years, they say, the psychologists, undoing this learning of the hegemony. And often, I'll just say this again. Nobody was raised for the world that they inhabit. We were all raised by parents that were correcting the mistakes of their own upbringing, which was 50 years ago.
Right, at least.
So we weren't even raised for the world that we live in. And she says, oh, this is a positive step in the direction of your healing. This is about healing. The correction of your mind is about healing. The seeing through illusion is about healing, because we're injuring ourselves. We've injured ourselves, and this is the admission that we're suffering, the admission that we have trauma. We're seeking healing. So what do? We reach out, and what happens? The world reaches back.
Right.
God reaches back.
Right.
Reality reaches back.
Reality reaches back. Yeah.
So read the next piece.
So this is the third
Don't
section.
Give it to him.
Okay, I won't. But okay, here we go.
Okay, no, review. What's the first one?
Give all to all.
Okay. And the second one?
To teach peace.
Teach peace to learn it.
Teach peace to
have
learn
peace,
it.
teach peace to
to
learn
have peace, teach peace to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so the next
we said before.
paragraph is, we said before that the Holy Spirit is evaluative and must be. Okay, that sentence always throws me a little bit. So the one mood he engenders, the one mood the Holy Spirit engenders is joy. He protects it by rejecting everything that does not foster joy. And so he alone can keep you wholly joyous. The Holy Spirit does not teach you to judge others. Let me wag my finger here. The Holy Spirit does not teach you to judge others because he does not want you to teach error and learn it yourself.
Because you're going to be wrong. If you're judging, you're going to be wrong.
Mm-hmm. The undoing is necessary only in your mind so that you will not project instead of extend.
So this idea, projection and extension. We'll do this a lot of extensively, and this is a major theme in A Course in Miracles, this difference between projection and extension.
Yeah.
Projection is something that we send out that we don't have acknowledgement of. Extension is something that we do consciously by spreading and expanding what is real.
Right,
you can extend what is real, you project what is not real.
Right. Okay, and so here's the third principle. Be vigilant only for God and his kingdom.
I know,
Be vigilant. I like that.
So who's God and his kingdom?
Well, me and you know. We are God in the kingdom.
What is real? Again, what is real? Be vigilant for what is real. And she says, remember the first the sentence that Yolanda read? The Holy Spirit is evaluative, and it must be.
Right.
That is to get us to learn or be able to decipher and help us learn and recognize what is real.
Oh, okay.
It's evaluative.
Yeah.
It keeps the good stuff and lets go of the bad stuff. It only provides advice that will bring us, return us to our default setting of being wholly joyous.
Yep.
Or we're going to go our own way and, suffer.
Do something else,
My mother calls that the scenic route. It just means you're going to take longer.
Yeah.
It means you're just taking longer, and you don't have to.
So, be vigilant only for God and his kingdom. This is a major step toward fundamental change.
Okay, chapter 6, we get the first movement forward. This is a major step toward fundamental change. We're talking about foundational principles, foundational ideas. This is the curriculum. Everything can be built on top of this.
Yeah, okay. So, and then it does not concern itself with order of difficulty, but with clear-cut priority for vigilance. There's that word again. This lesson is unequivocal in that it teaches there must be no exception.
No exceptions.
Unequivocal.
It means everything's going to be examined. It means you have the permission to examine everything. You have permission to examine your beliefs, what you think peace is, what is going to make you happy, all these things. You have absolutely permission to evaluate what that is for you, what is yours to do, what makes you happy, and if you learn to be in that honesty and that self-dialogue and that self-knowledge, all of that is here.
Okay, choosing through the Holy Spirit will lead you to the kingdom. You create by your true being, but what you are, you must learn to remember.
Okay, you create by your true being,
but what you are, which is your true being, you must learn to remember. That's funny, and I like that.
Because we've learned to forget.
Yeah, we've learned to forget, so now we must learn to remember, which is the unlearning of the,
Right, which means you can learn.
Yeah.
It's possible.
So it says the third step then is a statement of what you want to believe and entails a willingness to relinquish everything else.
I want to live in the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
I believe I live in the kingdom of heaven. I believe I am the truth.
Yeah. And the Holy Spirit will enable you to take this step if you follow him. Your vigilance, there's that word, your vigilance is the sign that you want him to guide you.
The guide.
Right. I like this next sentence too. Vigilance does not require effort, but only until you learn that effort itself is unnecessary.
Okay, there's a clue to this when she talks about your perfect nature, your true nature. We create by our true nature.
Yeah. Okay. I'm beginning to get that.
If it's your true nature, do you really have to? How hard you are working at your true nature?
Yeah,
do you have to consult your notes on yourself in order to, maybe for a minute in the beginning,
right? But
how much do you? It's your true nature. How much do you have to learn how to?
So you know what? The word vigilance now is taking on a new meaning for me. It's more like vigilance as willingness, or vigilance as paying attention.
See,
you know,
I think of it as like, how quickly can I change my mind when the evidence points in another direction?
Oh, that's good. That's
just like, oh, I'm always about. I don't take anything without, it's all has. It's evaluated against what is true. Another place in the Holy Spirit towards the end, she says, "Bring to me the illusions and place them on the altar, and we will let them go together."
Yeah,
So vigilance, vigilance. To be vigil, or what is holding a vigil? What does holding a vigil mean?
Is that that's well, I think of it as like lighting candles and
but
being,
it's a very specific, focused thing. You're quiet. You're not doing anything. You're remembering.
Yeah,
it's a vigilance.
Right.
It's a single pointed, focused thing.
Yeah. Event or.
That's how we need to be with our happiness.
Right, be vigilant about your
happiness.
Focused on your happiness.
Yes, focus on your happiness.
Right,
and like in your happiness is peace.
Right.
So, what brings you peace? Do you see where we're going with this?
Yes.
Okay, that's an equation. Okay, that's what we bring to the equation. What we've got to do is we constantly turn our head toward the light. Constantly turn our head toward the light. Constantly turn our focus to what is true, even when we're upset, or even maybe even mostly when we're upset. Even when you're happy, or whatever you're doing, you're having tea, you're hugging your kid, whatever's going on.
My kitty.
I know. Learn to listen.
Yeah.
Learn to listen to the Holy Spirit. You have a guide that's been placed within your right mind.
Yes.
That is whispering your certain destiny in your ear. Learn what is yours to do, what you have endless energy to do. It will bring you joy. It is our awakening is all wrapped up in it. Trust that we are not alone. You are not alone. If you reach out and get on this path, your mighty companions will show up and be there with you, and you'll have a teacher, and you will learn what is yours to do. That's the journey we're about to go on.
Right.
We're going to go together.
Yep.
We're going to go together every year. We go this journey because life is a spiral up.
Yeah.
Right? So, learn what is ours to do. Trust that we're not alone, that the resources will be there if we take the next step and take the next step. Know that we are enough right now. Being is having. You have what you need for your journey.
Right.
Not somebody else's journey. Right. Your journey, your perfect happiness, your certain destiny. It is a choice to live a creative life. It is a choice to use your creative powers for your own authenticity, for your in service of your own integrity, in the service of your own joy. This is what we're expanding into the world. We give permission today for others to be themselves because we have known the value of having our own integrity and authenticity ourselves. There is joy for you on this path. It is not drudgery.
Joy down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart. I got the joy down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay.
This is my default setting. It's my default setting.
I got the love of spirit in my heart.
It's this creative process.
Yeah.
I want you to think about this journey. Think about this certain destiny as your creative process, where your life and your happiness, your body, this material existence, is your art form.
Beautiful.
So remember, You are at church with a 2-drink minimum, and I'm Glenn Morton Ganaway, your favorite anarchist preacher.
And I'm Reverend Yolanda.
I know. So, hey, human.
And I've got another lovely song to share with you. It's called "Shining in the Sun."
Oh, I love
this. I
this.
really like this song because I think it really sort of works with this lesson. I wrote it in a time of great despair, but I was turning my focus,
shining in the sun,
to my joy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was this song was an affirmation of consciously shifting my focus from despair to joy.
Vigilance.
Yeah, vigilance. So I want to share that
really
with
like
you.
This one.
I want to share that with you. Shining in the Sun.
See you in a minute.
No one knows me better than I know myself. Waking up in the morning, sometimes I feel like I've got nothing left to give. No more worrying about tomorrow. It will take care of itself. I ain't got time to wallow in my sorrow. Not good for me or you or nobody else. 'Cause I'm shining in the sun, making room for everyone. No one could feel any better than the way I feel this morning. Give me an inch, I'll take a mile. Give me your heart and I'll make you smile. 'Cause I'm shining in the sun, making room for everyone. Yes, I'm shining in the sun, making room for everyone. I've had raging storms in my life, and everything I had, it burnt up in that fire. I didn't think that I could start all over again, but I did it with the help of my loving friends. And I'm shining in the sun, making room for everyone. Yes, I'm shining in the sun, making room for everyone. Woo! Yeah! Shining, yes, I'm shining, shining in the sun. Shining, yes, I'm shining, shining in the sun. Shining, yes, I'm shining, 'cause I'm shining in the sun. Shining, yes, I'm shining. 'Cause I'm shining in the sun. Shining, yes, I'm shining. Shining in the sun. Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm shining. Oh, yeah. Shining in the sun. Oh,
Yay!
Shining. Yes, I'm shining. Yes, I'm shining in the sun. All right, everybody.
So
thank
go shine in the
you.
world today. We love you.
Yeah,
You're
we
not
love
alone
you.
and friendless.
We love you so much, and we thank you for joining us. We'll see you next Sunday, and stay tuned for Something Genuine with
I know, we're
Reverend
gonna miss
Jacqueline.
the show.
I know, but we love you, Reverend Jacqueline, and we'll see everybody live next Sunday.
Say hi to everybody.
Wow.